Finally, the real content of this stream chat. Vito Gesualdi, aka Vito the Pedo, a man who repeatedly professed that he was a pedophile and is close associates with a known pedophile called Max Carson, published the first half of the black and white of his comic. And I don't know, I think it's supposed to be full color, but this is like the black and white preview for SUPERKILLER. And I don't know what to say. It's bad. It was uploaded by Autistic Right to the forum. I'm assuming with Vito's permission. Maybe he said that you can publish this if you want to. I haven't received any notice about it, so I'm assuming that this is up for critical review. So this is his note to the backers. He says, "Hello, backer. Please enjoy this exclusive 23-page digital preview of SUPERKILLER #1, the complete first act of our story." So first of all, this is only half the book. Second of all, the script that was leaked earlier in the I think it was leaked last year. Vito said that it was like a draft and that it wouldn't be reflective of the final product, but they're in the coloring phase and it's the exact same fucking thing. Like nothing's changed as far as I could tell by looking over it. So that was just a lie, and I already know that it's going to be shit because I read through the script. I said I was going to send out the entire book this month, but I decided that was a really stupid idea, so I did this instead. Also, there's a black and white version of the comic now, and you'll be getting a free copy once we start shipping everything out. You should probably read the end of the July campaign update for all the details. Anyways, please keep in mind this is still a work in progress, a bit rough around the edges. The lettering and coloring will definitely be changed up in the final print, but I think we got something pretty cool here. Let's see. So if you don't remember from me reading the script, the first page of this is supposed to be like a fake out. It's supposed to be like a really old timey comic that like is intentionally kitsch and cliche. Time to face cosmic consequences, UFO bot, Meteor Man. But how? That radioactive shard of meteoritum should have disabled your powers. He says, well, Fiend, you were right about my secret weakness to Mediatorium. Thankfully, my signal watch sent a distress call out to my #1 super pal, kid reporter, Snap Sullivan. It was he who freed me from your tricky torture trap. All right, you two, smile for the birdie. And he says, curses, how could you fool me? How could you fools have bested me yet again? And then this is supposed to be the introduction to the real comic, which is good. The woman that he fetishizes from his high school who killed herself and is reincarnated in his disgusting comic book says, wow, I can't believe I actually paid money for this crap. And then I think there's a comic about how comics were never good. She, or did he change that line? There was okay, he did change it a little bit. There was a line in the original that says, "Were comics always this bad?" My thought is just with that. Okay, let's pretend. I mean, I guess there's like a concept here. Like if you're gonna show, I mean, really, if he had the balls, he should have just put in 2 pages from Isom. He should have just directly copied 2 pages from Isom and then had her reading Isom #1 or whatever and said like, wow, this is shit. I sure do hate black people. Instead, he has no balls and he went for parodying like 1950s Superman, I guess, is what the point is. Now, my thought with that, okay, let's say that there was in potentia some way to make this work that would be funny. I think that the main issue is that the art style is identical. Like, there's not much of an improvement. I don't know, maybe there's supposed to be like an improvement. It kind of looks like it's the exact same art style, though. If there's supposed to be like a noticeable improvement, maybe once it's colored in, I'll be able to see that. But, from the line art alone, it doesn't look like it. It would really, oh, I guess it is supposed to be. No, because it's like dot colored in here too, like sketch and dot colored. So it is supposed to look like that. was gonna say really want it to look like a 1950s comic book, but this just looks like the exact same shit. So it's a lot harder to sell that. The other thing that was really noticeable with just skimming through this is like, okay, you look at this, and I just want you to tell me, in these, especially with the faces, what is the most detailed part of like the human? Like, what is the most detailed thing that exists in every single one of these frames? And you might notice that like the mouths are like extraordinarily over detailed compared to the rest of the footage, like the rest of the drawing. It's just like, especially when they're zoomed out, it's like all the mouths are like extremely lined and like with sharp teeth and all sorts of stuff. And it really, someone else in the thread even said this, but it really stood out to me, is like, these are like vor mouths. And if you don't know what that means, if you ever are unfortunate enough to see vor, like a furry, like drawing vor, the mouths are like hyper detailed with like glistening strands of saliva and really sharp teeth and the gums drawn. It's like the mouths are like given way too much fucking focus. And I really don't know why. I mean, they don't look like human mouths at all. So it makes me wonder if these are like drop in place, like Jim Buckley, like look at this, like look at that mouth. Like, why? Hold up. I'm immediately reminded of something that is like stupid. Here we go.
Stupid face.
The engineer of Team Fortress 2 saying,
Stupid face.
Lady, why are you making such a
stupid face?
I just want to know. I don't know. I don't really feel like reading the plot to any of this. And he comes in, and this is like the first shot of the actual Superkiller besides the comic book cover. And I guess maybe once it's colored in, it'll look a little bit better, but I don't know. I can't even make out the details of his fucking face. Yeah. And then I guess that this is supposed to be like, this isn't a part of the actual art. This is just like the end part of the backer comic. This sketch in particular is like the worst fucking thing. Like, their faces are so dead and lifeless. And like the way that the mouths are, like, again, look how big lipped these are. These remind me of that Big Mouth fucking Netflix show that was like creepy and weird and very Jewish. And then you scroll down and it's like the perspective is completely fucked up. The arms are completely fucked up. The angle is completely fucked up. The body proportions are completely fucked up. And I'm like, I'm hoping that this is just like a temporary sketch they threw in there. Or the backers, but it's just like, it's just bad. And it makes me think, like, if Vito just did like a comic and he just put this out and it's like, okay, this is like a independent comic. It's just something that he wants to do. It's something for people who know him and like his shit. That's fine. This is all whatever, right? But his entire crux of selling this is that other people's comics are worse. I even have other people's fucking here. Do I have it? I can open this up. And it's nowhere near this bad. Especially with the mouth thing. It's like really noticeable how bad. I don't know, just like the coloring and the way that the line art is done. And the proportions of the mouths and the bodies and shit are just completely different. Here, actually. I think I can throw this up. I have this, no, I'm sorry, I don't have that. I was gonna say, maybe I had my Gumroad review video, assets for this, but I can't drop them side by side. It's hard to explain because I'm not like an artist, but you can compare the faces and that there's just a level of skill. There's a skill gap between the two. And this, look, what the fuck is this? This like even as I was scrolling up and down, like you heard me like dead air for a second because I'm like, what the fuck? What's this? What is this? Where's her face? Where he just like took his drawing tablet and dropped in all the assets for the face and nose, and then forgot the face. Like, where's her head at, bro? Where's the? Oh no! Look at the top of his head. Where is her face, Vito? That definitely when this gets like released colored, I am going to find this fucking page. It is page 14. Do not let me forget. I cannot wait, now that I pointed this out, to come back to this page and see this frame in particular and see that someone went back and drew in an entire fucking head. Because if I did not point this out, this would have shipped this way. It would just be a frame of her face splattered off of her body. Here's your comic book, retards. Thanks for supporting the fucking Fat Retard podcast, number 2, the reboot. I think I made a meme. I'm gonna try to find my meme real quick. No, I just said Lamau at that. There's another one that made me laugh. It may not be a highlight. All my posts should be highlights, but oh, here we go. It was a highlight, of course. It just instantly reminded me of Attack on Titan, because it's like this weird angle of them like looking up with like these like grimaces on their face, and like whatever the fuck this is supposed to be, it's just like creepy weird vor mouth. I was like, ew, stop it. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you making me look at this? An anime meme from look, Attack on Titans. I've never even watched it, but I know the intro song, and I know that it has German, and therefore it's a good song. Okay, that's how it works. And then this, this guy who paid someone to draw this with this weird fucking fanged vor mouth is going to be like, yeah. You're a comic black man? Not good enough. You should be bankrupt. You suck. Thanks, Vito. Porglack for 5 says, Vito's drawing Kin Pander's mouth. And then there's a link to Reddit. Oh, okay, so Kin Panders is another comic book artist. I got you. I don't know. I would say that the mouth was on Vito's comic are worse in a certain way, because in this okay, like look, the face is all fucked up in the sketch, but it matches, like the level of detail in the mouth is equitable to the level of detail in the weird like eye goggle thing that Sonic has. It's the same level of detail, whereas in Vito's thing, it's like the mouth in particular is like several degrees more detailed than the rest of it. Like, especially in that one thing that I pulled up that was just like it's over detailed for what it is, and it makes it stand out even more. It makes it look like a fetish thing. It's like, why does her like, okay, this frame, for instance, is very close to looking good, but then it's like there's like weird spit on her lower lip, and it's like, why would you put that detail there? Like, that's an adequate level of detail for that shot, so that her mouth doesn't stand out. But then you add like spit reflection on her bottom lip, like she has a boogie sitting on her. I don't get it. And then there's this shit where it's like, even on this, it's like, okay, you can clearly see the level of detail for everything. There's like spit on her upper lip. There's another weird spit reflection thing. You can see that their chin is like half drawn. That guy definitely forgot to finish his face, because there's a chin there. Like, why the fuck is that there? And then you can see like the weird holes. Like, her mouth is full of cavity. Every tooth is like sharp and shit. It's like a crazy amount of detail for a mouth. And also the speckling. Every face looks like they're covered in grime. Why does she have a 5 o'clock shadow? Why is it detailed like this? It's visually unappealing. I look at it and I think, like, this looks bad. It's not like I'm trying to find faults with it. I look at it, I'm just thinking like this is visually unappealing. Isom, for whatever you want to say about the writing or whatever, or certain action sequences that aren't consistent, the artistry is good. Everything I had no issues with it. There's nothing that stands out like this. Or it's just like, why do they look fucking dirty for her? She looks like she should be dunked in a fucking bathtub.
It is I, the Nigger, and I need you to subscribe to, it says here, Clip Summer.